I'm doing all this work and don't feel like I'm getting the results. I'm 49. Get people my age go, what's the secret? That's not possible for me. You don't have the genetic. You're too old, which comes up a lot for me. I didn't feel bad. Like I felt unhealthy. Let me be clear. High blood pressure, high resting heart rate. I had to quit drinking. People didn't even talk about that. I love my wife and my kids, but I wasn't taking care of myself, so I wasn't taking care of them properly. I wouldn't call myself an old school lifter. We were told to do lots of volume. What should I eat? The answer was always everything.
What provoked that shift?
Had a bunch of issues in my life that I had to resolve. You can't outwork a bad diet. I had people be like, you should work out. Well, I started losing weight. And that got more and more drastic to where people are like, get a lot more comments now.
You went to the gym to get stronger. You know, it's been 70 plus pounds now. You've lost like...
It would have seemed too much to take on. Working with you, I feel like it's possible. Every month, every week, I just want to do more. Now I get it. Sleeping better, work is better, my focus is better. I'm in a really good mental, physical, spiritual place right now. I didn't think I'd see this progress at 49. I didn't really believe it. And that's the part that gives me all the confidence lately. Then I know that I can do it. And then what's the secret? Sleep, diet. But it takes people like you and We Hack Health to unwind that narrative. The best version of me is the one that gets up early, goes to the gym, eats healthy, spends time with my kids. I have a wonderful profession and I'm present for that. I'm so much better at that. Gets everything I can out of every day, which is something I would never have done. You're the only person besides my wife that just sees me in my underwear.
Today, we're joined by Jason. Jason has been hitting the gym for decades. When we first spoke, he told me he didn't feel like he was getting the results his efforts deserved. Now, as he approaches 50, we have reset his whole outlook on health and fitness. We're nailing nutrition, mastering mindset, and unlocking exceptional performance in the gym and outside the gym, setting him on a new journey for life. Let's get into it. This is our second digital interaction. We recorded in June 2024. For anybody who wants to see that, it will be on the screen or in the bio or whatever. I have a couple of notes here about what we spoke about the last time.
All right.
A shift in training, mindset and community, the father-son relationship, the Phoenix event, nutrition, cut, infinite bulk, coaching style, and then some advice from you at the end. So I may use those talking points or I may not. But since the last time we did this, what's changed? What's been going on?
Man, and I actually watched that video a couple of times every once in a while just to remember what I said. And that's like a different person again. I meant that changes over the last couple of years that you've been a part of, right, have been pretty drastic to me. So lots has changed. Different directions, different... I tinker, as you know. So yes. Different thoughts and like trying to like just continue to optimize everything all the time. So,
okay. I think the best place to start on that, me knowing, I guess, what we have worked towards until this event, has been the focus on body composition, the focus on shifting from one approach in the gym to another. And again, for additional context for anybody who doesn't go back and watch the other one, you have been training for how many years?
Gosh, since I was a teenager. So I'm 49 right now. Seriously, probably the last 15 years.
Okay.
But always on and off since high school. So never with too big of a break, really. Okay. Maybe a month and then backing up.
Okay. So talk then a little bit about how you approached things before, what your goals were, and then we'll get into what's shifted.
I think at least a lot of I wouldn't call myself an old school lifter. When we went into the gym, we were told to do lots of volume. Mm-hmm. You did bro splits, right? Chest buys, back tries, legs. Like even the push-pull legs was not a thing that, at least not in like the gyms I went to, people didn't even talk about that, right? It was lots of volume. And I mean 20 to 25 sets per muscle group was pretty common, and sore for 3 or 4 days. Eat, I remember, what should I eat? The answer was always everything. Yeah, just eat everything. And, for a long time, that is exactly what I thought I wanted to do. And, well, actually, it was what I wanted to do. I enjoyed being big. And it probably got away from me at some point. And I still, even when I look back at those pictures where I was like 277 was my heaviest, I didn't feel bad. Like I felt unhealthy. Let me be clear. I had high blood pressure and high resting heart rate, and but I could push around a lot of weight, and people would say things like, "Whoa, big dude." But I never felt like it, taking your shirt off or looking at like the actual results was something. I told you this, right? Like I'm doing all this work and don't feel like I'm getting the results that I want or I've worked for, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Just unaware of diet, sleep, and anyway.
Literally everything else.
And a lot of other shit, yes.
But I think, first of all, doing something versus doing nothing is obviously better. The fact that you were so consistent in showing up and had at least a direction, had something that you were progressing in terms of strength, you were getting bigger. Like, they don't lose sight of that. Like, you were consistent with that. You said that you didn't feel like you were getting the results that the effort. You didn't think that you were getting the effort. You thought it would be more. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like the effort you've put in since then? I guess the shift has been, we focused more on fat loss. We focused on body composition. So the shift has been change direction. That focus a little bit more on nutrition, be in a deficit, and do it for a pretty extended period of time. You've went from, what did you say, 277?
277 at my heaviest, I think.
And what did we weigh in just before the event?
198.
Okay. So we got closer and closer, and we sort of set this goal of like, what if we could break that 200 mark and get below it? And bang on, like to the week before, 2 weeks before you hit it throughout the week, but on the average, we got it just the week before.
Well, we had to push at the very end, which I think was the right call. Like, because I was kind of stalled at like that 201, 202 for a few weeks, I think. Yeah.
Okay. So what provoked that shift?
It was gradual, right? So I thought in my head, for sure, like, if I get down to 225, I think was the original time. I remember you being like, all right, it's a number. Like, well, what do you mean? Like, no, I think I in my mind, I'll be super lean at 225. And as we got there, that was not the case. That was still like not even close, I don't think, at that. Then it was 215, right? And then 210, and then I don't know. I mean, I think we haven't talked about it since I've been here. 190? I don't know. One of my buddies, Joe, who's a bodybuilder, he thought like 190.
Okay.
Just to see at least. But I will trust you. You're the only person besides my wife that just sees me in my underwear once a week. So.
Okay, first we've had that shift. We've done it. It's been gradual in terms of, we didn't start at 270 and go, right, let's get below 200. Like in my head, I knew it would come, but we sort of have to give you okay, right, it can be more realistic if it's not as a big a goal. What had to change for you to make that progress?
Well, you can't outwork a bad diet. So mostly diet, I would say. I also had a bunch of issues in my life that I had to resolve prior to that. I had to quit drinking. I had to put my health first. So that meant sleep. It meant I came first. And I don't mean that I love my wife and my kids, but I wasn't taking care of myself, so I wasn't taking care of them properly. I was always a good dad and husband, to be clear, but not the best I could be by any means. So I think that helped. Therapy helped, and then after that, it's just let's go back to at 275. The only people that would recognize that would be other big dudes at the gym. They would be like, "Bro, hey, looking good." But everyone else would be like, I had people be like, "You should work out. You should hit the gym." I'd be like,
I'm like, bro, every day.
I'm in the gym every day. You start getting, the leaner you get, I would have people be like, "Hey, did you start going to the gym?" Well, I started losing weight. And that got more and more drastic to where people are like, I get a lot more comments now from people that know me, that are just like, "You have lost so much weight." Lorena yesterday, the first thing she said to me when we did mobility, she's like, "Have you lost a bunch of weight?" I'm like, "I have." Yeah.
Thanks for noticing. Yeah.
Yeah. But just that feeling is motivation to be like, okay, this is going in the right direction. Also, the myth, and I talked with Helmy yesterday about this, of I'm going to lose all my strength. like I can't do that, Ben, because I want to bench this much and I want to do all these things. And once you get lean enough and you're like, well, I haven't really lost much. In fact, probably a little stronger in some areas, like maybe systemically in like a full body lift. No, I'm not going to squat as much, but like biceps, I mean, that stuff is, I would say probably stronger than it was. So all that kind of combines into like wanting to do that. And then, believing, like lately I've used the word bodybuilder. That's what I want to be. But I would be, a year ago, I would have been scared to death to say that, because I would have just honestly doubted that's not possible for me. You don't have the genetics. You don't have the drive. You're not going to be able to do that. You're too old, which comes up a lot for me in my mind anyways. Maybe if you started a long time ago or you did blah, 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 whatever. Now I just don't care. Like, I feel like working with you and the team, I'm just going to show up and see what happens. And I don't know what it will be, but that's what I want to be. And I feel like it's possible. But again, I don't know. I'm just going to continue to go and try.
Okay. Do you think that, you said there that that's what you want to be? Do you think you had that want to be that before, but wouldn't say it because you didn't think it was, like you said, genetics?
I thought it was unattainable.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you think, just something that came to mind there, whenever you were bigger and obviously you were getting the comments around, you should go to the gym. Do you think it's the people's perception of why you go to the gym? So like my experience would be people think you go to the gym to lose weight, whereas you went to the gym to get stronger, which I think is what you should do. Like if you have that, I think that's what I believe the gym to be. I'll attach a should to it because Matt will fucking shout at me. I believe the gym, if you have that relationship with the gym as the place you go to become stronger, versus I think a lot of people have it in their head that they go to the gym to lose weight. Would you think that that's potentially where those comments come from? And that now that you're getting the comments about have you started to go to the gym is because they've seen you lose weight and they have that relationship with the gym in that way?
Absolutely. I think most people's perception of any health endeavor is to lose weight, right? They don't, like when they think of like body recomp or something, like I know it, I assume everyone knows it. We do this a lot, right? Like, well, we all watch these shows. We understand like body comp and like how people weigh different, even from how they look. But I think, most people are just going to equate it with like, oh, you want to lose weight. You want to get skinnier. Which I don't, I do, but I don't want to lose any muscle at the same time. So,
okay.
And that's hard. I've had a few guys ask me how I'm doing that because it has to be so slow, right? It's just like, I'm going to get there. I thought you were trying to lose weight. And you're like, yeah, I am. But that's like a year out. Like I have half pound a week, maybe a pound like most. And that's the only way you're going to be able to maintain. And I think for a lot of people, they don't want to hear that.
Definitely not.
They want the 90-day the beach body.
And could you do it in a shorter time frame? For sure. I asked you on yesterday morning or Wednesday morning, it's been 70 plus pounds now. You've lost what's the time frame on that?
2.5 years, I think, probably.
Okay.
So I had quit drinking like in COVID times. And that just naturally, I think you kind of lose. Well, I had attempted to quit drinking during COVID time. I had a few bumps in the road. And that is a quick 20 pounds, I would say. That was just bloat and bad health and staying up all night and not sleeping, I think. And then I think when we worked together, I was probably 250, let's say. I think my first thing was 245, but that was one frame in time when I was on there. So it was probably right around 250-ish. And then it was just exciting. And I still wanted to get bigger. I remember telling you. You were like, what's your goal? I was like, well, to get bigger.
How do you comprehend that time frame? Because like you said, most people want the quick fix, the Jeff Bezos effect. We can get everything we want tomorrow. Why the fuck do I need to wait 2 years to get this thing? They struggle with that longer time horizon. So how have you mentally wrapped your head around that sort of keeps you on track for that period of time?
Well, I didn't, because you didn't mention to me that it was going to take 2 years. Yeah, I meant, I don't know what it's going to take for other people. I know for me, if you would have told me, hey, that's going to happen and it's going to be like for probably now, let's say 3, 4, 5 year progress where I feel pretty good. It would have seemed too much to take on. So I don't know how I would call it your Jedi mind trick, right? But I don't remember you mentioning to me that it was going to take that long. You did say it's going to be a long timeline, and I'm not here like we need at least a year, which is fair. Plus, I can't remember who said it in one of the meetings. Maybe it was Jeff or I can't remember. That said, your perspective I have changed my expectations of it too. So 6 months in, if that was my goal, I would have been like, cool, thanks, Ben, see ya. Like, I'm happy. But every month, every week, every year now, I just want to do more and see how far I can take it.
Okay. And on that, you're a person that shows up for every call. You're a person that shows up for every check-in. Like, you tick the boxes, you have become a part of it, and you've completely embodied what We Hack Health is. Like, you've done the work, and if I were to put, I don't know if I'm allowed to do this, but I guess if I can do what I want, right? If I were to put sort of a tier of like people who just show up and get the work done, like you are a person who does that. You show up on the calls and you apologize for asking questions because you have so many questions. And I think that, well, I know for a fact it's because you beyond the stuff that we do, you have a natural interest as to, okay, right, well, these are the things that we're doing. How can I get more from this and from myself? So you go and do the research and you come to me and you say, well, what are your thoughts on this? Or I've read this thing, or what's this thing for that? Or I sat and fucked around with ChatGPT. Like, what's your thoughts on this? And there are a lot of things that I give you advice on that I wouldn't give other people the same advice, because I know that you have done the depths of the research and the work. Where does that come from?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's kind of how I've always been, right? So I'm always curious, and I think you're like this, Ben. It's like I'm all in on anything, even the little stuff, even the like. I have to stop myself sometimes to be like, okay, just because you're doing like fixing the counter in your kitchen, you don't need to become like a master carpenter at how every part.
Why not?
But I will watch. I don't know. I think I have a rule of like 6 or 7 different YouTubes, so I can see different approaches of whatever I'm doing.
Yeah.
But for the health stuff, this year, the last year and a half has been different for me in that I've gone from being there was a wrong and right way to lift and a wrong and right way to diet and a wrong and right way to take care of yourself and get what we're doing to there's lots of ways to do this. And all of the lifting stuff you've taught me, now I get it. Like, I'm teaching my kids who both lift with me. Yeah, that's one way to lift. You can bro lift. You're certainly going to get results doing that. And then the kind of con to that is you're going to have to recover for so long in between the lifts. You can do what we're doing, where we're hitting a muscle group 2, maybe 3 times a week. You're going to need to lower the volume. But to answer your question, and without going too far down the rabbit hole, this is my constant brain chatter, right? Of like, that's a great concept. Having someone like you who cares. Because a lot of the questions when I ask people, you can tell, I'm sure you guys do too, they're just not engaged. They don't want to go to that depth. Mm-hmm. And so I really enjoy having people like, well, what about this is like, what can we get out of this? How can we make this better? Like, you'll tell me something and I'll go do it and be like, well, it kind of felt like that. Like, I want to have people around me that care enough to want to get better. Like, otherwise, what are we doing it for, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I want all these guys here out in the gym to get better. I want to get better, and I want to be open to now, like, Grace, the knees over toes thing, right? Like, I thought, what a lot of people did. This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. You have to go 90 degrees. You're going to blow out your knee. I talked to you about it. I went and watched the research. I was like, oh, actually, that's probably something I should do. We talked. You were like, yes, but slowly. Now that's my favorite. Like, hack squat, low, and there's no quad exercise I've done. Maybe sissy squats, but like.
But fuck those.
Yeah. But just stuff like that, like, where I have to be more open. So it brings more questions to be like, well, maybe I'm wrong. well, what do you think? Like when I come to you on like the crazy terzepatide talk, it was a genuine question. Like, what do you think? Randomly, what you said, I went to my doctor, like my normal doctor, not my HRT doctor. Not that they're biased, but like, and she goes, same thing you just said. She goes, actually, for you, I think I would support that. For most people, I would say no. So I don't have a good answer for where that comes from. It's just something I enjoy doing with everybody around me. It probably drives them nuts, but
I think first of all, to I guess delve a little bit further deeper into the terzepatide thing, like I know that there is, especially within the industry that I work in, there is a sort of natural reaction to things like that. On the flip side of that, I know that people see that as the thing that is going to quote on fix a problem or whatever. And I think that's where I would always hesitate to, delve further into that or have that conversation. But like I said to you, you've done the research and you came to me with what do you think about this? This is the reason that I think it would work. Plus, there are also other benefits to this on the other side. Additionally, we're 2 years into this.
Yeah.
I know that you're not doing it to fix the problem that other people are trying to fix, that they do it without the doing the, I guess, the long yards, the hard work, whatever you want to phrase it as. You have all of those tools already. This is how do we get the sort of last couple of percents out of this? Like, how do we push this a little bit further? And that's where I'm like, yeah, I mean, this works in this situation. And again, to your point on the other people, yes, they switch off in terms of, I never want to think like that, or maybe they're not as far along in their journey, or like they just don't give a fuck about some of those things, which is also fine. But I think that, continued curiosity will start to filter in. Like, I think that I want that from people as well, because I do give a shit about those things. And for me, if you see me, and you probably have or heard me, answer people's questions, they will ask me just a question with no further context, and my response is always like, for who, or it depends, or like, what's the situation?
Yes.
Whereas you bring the situation, and I will say no based on the context of us working together. I want that from everybody as well. And, as we spoke about this week, like, I want to reset the standard, and that will come by osmosis in terms of they will see the continued progress in you and whoever else it is, and then they will become naturally more inquisitive. And I think that's one of my favorite things that you bring to the table, is that continued curiosity in things, and like being open to asking the questions and being okay with asking questions, and also being okay with telling, like, no, I'm definitely not doing that. Like, you're absolutely okay.
I could be wrong on it.
Yeah, but you're absolutely okay
fine.
with being wrong.
Absolutely.
People don't like as well. It hasn't been, well, before we get into that, how do you feel now versus, like you said, £200, sub £200? How do you feel day to day versus being 250 plus when we started?
Like 1,000% better. Like, all my health metrics are better. My blood work is better. My blood pressure, I said, this is the first time my blood pressure's been normal for a while. And that was the same thing. Like, something opened up working with you, working with my therapist too, and like just working on myself, where before she would give me blood pressure medicine, I would go home. It didn't work. I would not say anything and just continue to be like, yeah, it's not really lowering my blood pressure, but I guess I'll see her next year when we do her. And like this time I was like, I called her immediately, not working. All right, we'll change this. And I had to 3 or 4 switch ups in a couple weeks, got it working. Mm-hmm. That's different for me. I would have just done that. Sleeping better, work is better, my focus is better. The output in the gym I'm getting used to. How uncomfortable I was with people giving me compliments. And so now I do get them, and I just like, hey, thank you. That's awesome. Like, I appreciate that. I am working really hard, and I'm trying to do that. So it feels good. It's not, I used to probably just feel unworthy of those compliments. Be like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. So that's good. I'm in a really good mental, physical, spiritual place right now. I don't know where I'll be tomorrow, but today it's been nothing short of life-changing for me.
Okay. The shift in that, obviously, like we said, has been gradual. And I mean, it's a credit to the work that you continue to push in, and even you being able to recognize that in yourself and being worthy, as you said. Like, I think you're starting to realize that the work that you're putting in, you have, it's undeniable in terms of the work, and yes, people are going to recognize that. Within that, how far do you want to push it? Not number wise, but like, how far do you want to? And there is the other side of it when we do decide, okay, right, we're happy with this body composition. Like, where are we going now?
The real answer, I don't know.
Okay.
But as far as I can push it within reason, I feel like I have to use you as a barometer, and I know you will, to be like, because I'm always going to probably feel too lean. If I'm honest, I'm not that lean. I need to be a lot leaner. Okay. So I'd like to push it as far as, now I don't necessarily want to be like stage ready. I'm not sure I'm ready to do that. Maybe once, just for fun. We talked about like, who does that for fun? But just like, where is the cutoff where you're like, yeah, because like in a dreamland somewhere far off, Ben, you were going to say, look, it's time to bulk. And I'm going to be like, I can't fucking believe this. But maybe not. Maybe I'm just going to get there. And I've heard people get there and like, I prefer this. Like, I just want to stay here. So I'm unsure. In my mind, leaner and bigger.
Okay. I mean, over a long enough time horizon, we can.
I feel like it's going to be a couple more years now that I know.
Yeah.
But it works. And that's the part that gives me all the confidence lately is calories in, calories out works. This is going to work when you count. And, I mean, like really count. I don't think you have to count every grain, to be clear. I'm pretty close. Let's say I'm 95% in my calorie range. But just to understand, like, yeah, if I eat that, I'm not going to see the progress I want to see. And if I don't, and then actually seeing that for 2 years, keep hitting the mic, then I know that I can do it. I've heard you talk about it with other people too. Like, well, even if I went to a bulk, I think I'd be fine with it. I know that I know how to turn this around. I don't know how to bulk yet correctly. So I'm going to rely, if that day ever comes, and, maybe it will, again, gradual and like slow and like not, what do you say? Don't eat like an asshole, basically.
But even within that, like, yes, okay, the goal is to get bigger. Would you say that what you value from this or what you want from this has changed in terms of, I'll give you one or two, like this or that, how you look versus how you feel?
It's both. Yeah, I mean, they go hand in hand for me. Like being confident that I've done the work and I've gotten here, always reminding other people they could do it too. Like it wasn't magic. It was just, like you said, day in, day out, trying to do the work. But certainly health. I'm scared to gain body fat. I know what that means. Like, hey, your blood pressure is going to go up, your heart rate's going to go up, it's just not a good health metric. And I wouldn't say I want to get bigger. I want to look bigger. And that might be being leaner, if that makes sense.
100%. That makes sense.
But I did not believe that, to be clear. Because now I'll get people to say, oh, your arm is so big. I'm like, well, it used to be. Okay, no, it's the people just will relate it with the fact that they can see the muscle and not with, how actually physically large your arm is. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's the definition. They can see the muscle in it, which, like you said, it's a hard concept to get around. You'd be like, you mean I have to physically, literally get smaller to look bigger? Like that is what the fuck? Like, are you okay?
It is mentally very tough.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you socially get so many comments, at least I do lately, that is like, you step up a little straighter each time, like, okay, so this is the right path. And now someone could crush me and someone could walk up and be like, you look really small, dude. Like, grab a bag of Doritos. So both. I mean, both the way I feel like physically, like health-wise, and then the physical part, just continues to compound. Everything for me is like, this is the right path
Okay.
for me.
Yeah, for you, 100%. And I would say, not to put words in your mouth, but that potentially has changed. I would imagine, based on what you said before about like how you felt, you didn't feel healthy or you didn't feel good, but you felt strong and you felt big. So you valued that versus how you felt.
I valued, for some reason, I think maybe being like, I don't know, bullied as a kid or something. I just wanted to be big and strong and the biggest guy there.
Yeah. You said there as well, like age for you comes up quite a lot.
It does.
So you're at the stage now, 49?
49. Yeah, I'll be 50 in January.
But you feel better than you ever have?
Better than I ever felt, yes, absolutely. I don't feel that old. I feel like, I don't know, 20.
A difficult thing for people to, I hear it quite a lot. People will almost write feeling better off because they have an expectation that the older they get, they will feel worse.
Yes, I think that's how most people feel. I felt that way. Yeah, I felt, I'm around some guys. We talked about some of the guys like Eddie, who's like 76 and still lifting, and a couple other guys that are 60, 70. Statistically, I'm going to start to lose muscle mass as I get 50, 60. But that version of myself, whatever that is, high protein, hitting the weights, doing the cardio, doing that, is going to be the best version of me at 50, at 60, at 70. And there's no replacement for that. Is it going to be, hey, you're not going to be able to reach this weird mental picture, like you're not going to be Jay Cutler on stage at 315 ever, by the way. But I just mean like, that's not going to happen. But I'm going to feel so much better. And I really love, I've probably done, I don't know, 20,000 work? I don't know how you extrapolate 30 years of lifting. I've never been bored in the gym one time. I think that I like doing it too. That's helpful.
Mm-hmm. And do you think, and this is a complete assumption, there's always a relationship with numbers whenever it comes to age and those milestones. Like, you'll go from, 49 and 364 days old to then being 50, and it's like this whole fucking, oh my God.
Isn't that weird? I think about that. Well, because I'm just a couple months away, like there's some magical line I'm going to cross, and it's all downhill from there.
But that, so like, I would imagine you've had that thought before, like your relationship with approaching that as a number. How has that changed?
I don't know what it means anymore. Like, I know what society and people, myself included, my vision of what that means, like everything is over and downhill. I don't know if that's true anymore. I don't really care. I'm just going to go into it and be the best version. And you'll always see people, if you look, that are doing this well into their 80s. Beyond, like, I want to, you said, what's your overall goal? It's like, I want to be that old guy in the gym that's still there. I didn't think I'd see this progress at 49. I didn't really believe it. Like, I thought, I did believe I was too old. It's too late. You're not going to do it. You're like, oh, it's so hard when you're this old to lose weight. Well, apparently not. Like, that's not true. And while it's been really, really hard, I'm not like running marathons or like, I hate to run, Ben. So I don't doing like, you put 120 minutes of cardio, like I'm like, all right, that's it. Not 121, 120.
Waiting for the second to count down. I'm like, get off this thing, fuck this.
Yeah. It's just that, like, I get the age thing, and I get people my age go, what's the secret? Well, give me your best supplement. And I'm always like, sleep. And then what's the secret? Diet. And they get it. I'm like, no, I'm serious. Mm-hmm. Like, that's it. Just eat better, sleep better. You will, the results you're going to see are there. But it takes people like you and We Hack Health to unwind that narrative of like, it's not possible. It's the food industry, or like the victim. I hate that bullshit victim mentality. Like, no, it's you. You went to the store, you bought that food, you ate that. When I was 270, I was fat. I went to the store, I drank a 6-pack of beer, I ate the Burgerville on the way home, or what? That was me. That was not some weird. So And then like quality of life stuff, right? People are like, well, you know, you're getting older, you should be like relax and just kick back and fuck that. Like, I don't want to do that anymore. No, I'm gonna just go out. All the things. I'm in Northern Ireland with you, which is something I would never have done. To just be like, yeah, I'm gonna go. They're like, you're gonna go lifting camp in Ireland? Like, yeah. I think it sounds like a blast. So.
And has it been?
Yeah, it's been amazing.
Good. From what you're saying, it seems like you don't necessarily attach shoulds to those things anymore, or what the norm is, or what society would expect for getting older. It just sounds like you're going to just show up and continue to try and be that best version of whatever that looks like.
That's a great way to phrase it. Yeah, I just ignore that. I don't worry about like the box. Like this is where your cap is, or this is what your limit is. I don't know what it is. And
sure,
I've already
find out.
I've surprised myself already. It doesn't matter, right? It's even more than that. Like to me, philosophically, it's the best version of me is the one that gets up early, goes to the gym, eats healthy, high quality foods every day, spends time with my kids, works. I have a wonderful profession, and I'm present for that. I'm so much better at that, and just really gets everything I can out of every day. So regardless of like, is that going to diminish? I just don't care anymore. Like if that makes like, it's not like hey, I broke through the goal. It's like, I don't want to hear it. I'm going to go find out. Like, oh, you can't go down there. Like, all right, I'm going to wander off there.
Yeah. Good luck staying here.
You might be right, but I'm going to go find out.
Find out for myself.
Yeah.
Fair. If you were to give one concise line piece of advice for people who are having those thoughts around, you know, getting older and what that means potentially to them, or what society tells them that means, like, what would that be?
Be the best version of you can be. It's not the age or any of that stuff. Like, if you are living each one of those moments the best you can, you're going to get the best result.
Good. So it's not fucking, doesn't matter what age you are, don't attach it to that age specifically. Just think about you in that moment and being the best version of that. It's
getting rid of expectations for me, both positive and negative, and just being, I call it wonder, still having wonder and going out into the world and being like, I don't know. But I mean, obviously we all know lifting weights, doing some cardio, eating healthy food. These are things we know are better. So just get rid of all that other garbage and just go be the best version of you.
Cool. Perfect. Well, Jason, thanks for this conversation. Thanks for trusting me. Thanks for doing the work. Thanks for being continuously curious in things. Thanks for asking the questions and being okay with asking the questions. Thanks for the advice that you offer when other people ask questions, because I know that people will come in and obviously everybody's at a different stage within their journey. So, you know, you being able to offer advice back on things that, you know, this might not work for you, but this is what worked for me. Why don't you give it a shot? Thanks for all the future content that you're going to provide for us, that you have been continuing to promise. You're giving me I'm just put my setup together, and I'm like, well, you know, maybe just fucking record the video. But genuinely, like, there are people that become such a huge part of what I do that, you know, to use the C word, not cult community, like there are people who become such a big part of that I probably said this to you at the start, like one of the biggest benefits of what I do is having the other people. Like I can't offer 50 people's advice on their life experience. I just put them in the same room and they can offer. So thanks for being a huge part of that. We will do this again, for sure. But before you go.
All right.
We have now commandeered the fact that the last guest has left you a question. So you're going to have to answer.
All right. Some Diary of a CEO stuff.
That's it. We just decided, you know what? I'm not going to try and sugarcoat this or fluff this at all. We're just going to fucking ask it.
You said fluff again. Is this all AI?
Yes, I am AI. It has the robots have taken over. How can you tell the difference between an opportunity and a distraction?
Holy smokes. An opportunity and a distraction.
Hold on, let me ask ChatGPT.
Yeah. One... The distraction usually is probably quick dopamine hit, like instant gratification. Like, hey, I want to go do that. That looks really cool right now. An opportunity you look at and say, that's going to take some work, but it's some place I'd really like to be.
Fucking class. No. Epic answer. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for putting up with me. I'm stubborn.
That's
so
not
I
a putting
appreciate
up
it.
with. There are some people that I put up with. This is not that. Thanks everybody for listening, and we'll see you in the next one.
All right, cool.
Damn.